Before making wudu, one must make intention and then say the basmala. Making intention and saying the basmala are both fard in the Hanbali school of thought. The first step of wudu is to wash the face from hairline to chin and ear to ear. Secondly, one must rinse his mouth by taking water into the mouth, then spitting it out. Third, he should then follow with washing his nose by taking some water in the nose, then taking it out. Next, one should wash both of his arms from the fingertips to the elbow. In Hanbali belief, tartib, washing the parts in the prescribed order, and muwalat, washing the parts one after another with no breaks, are both fardi.
يظل يجيء إلى ربوة قرار ويسمو
After that, one must apply masa on the entire head, including the ears. Finally, one must wash his feet and make sure to include the ankles.
وتصفو الحياة بنور هدى جمال الوجود بذكر الإله.
Before starting Salah, one must have niyyah or intention. When starting Salah, Muslims who follow the Hanbali school of thought say Allahu Akbar while raising their hands. Then one says Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika وَتَبَارَكَ اسْمُكَ وَتَعَالَى جَدُّكَ وَلَا إِلَهَ غَيْرُكَ silently, istiftah. Then, أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ and Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim silently, ta'awudha. One must place their right hand over their left, grasping the wrist, and place both just slightly under the navel. Throughout the entire Salah, they must be looking at the place of prostration or sujood. After reciting Surah Al-Fatiha and another surah from the Quran, one must say takbir, raise their hands to their shoulders, and go into ruk'. While in ruku, one should place their hands on their knees, keeping their fingers apart. In ruku, it is wajib to say Subhana Rabbiyal Adhim at least once. After this, one must rise from ruku, raise their hands to their shoulders, and say Sami Allahu liman hamida. Also, after ruku, one should place his hands by his sides, rather than under the navel. After this, one goes into sujood after saying Allahu Akbar, and makes sure their knees touch the ground first, then hands, then forehead. In sujood, it is wajib to say Subhana Rabbiyal A'la at least once. In sujood, arms should be away from the flanks. The abdomen should be away from the thighs. Knees should not be touching, and feet should be resting on the toes while separated. After the first sujood, one comes up and sits in iftirash position. One must say Rabbig Firli 3 times. Once is a must. After sitting in the iftirash position, one should go back into sujood. After this second sujood, one must stand back up, beginning the next rakat of the Salah. The second rakat is different from the first. Do not repeat the niyyah, do not repeat takbiratul ihram, do not repeat the istiftah, and do not repeat the ta'awudh after the second sujood, One should sit for the At-Tahiyyat and Tashahhud. The third unit is similar to the first unit. One must only recite Surah Al-Fatiha and not another surah. One must not repeat the Niyyah, the Takbiratul Ihram, the Istiftah, or the Ta'awud. The fourth and last unit is the same as the second, with a few changes. One must only recite Surah Al-Fatiha in the fourth unit, just like the third. One must recite Salat al-Ibrahimiyya. To end the Salah, he says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and turns to the right, and then says the same, whilst turning to the left. After the second sujood, one should sit for the At-Tahiyyat and Tashahhud. One must recite Salat al-Ibrahimiyya. To end the Salah, he says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and turns to the right, and then says the same whilst turning to the left.